Good afternoon, folks. Here we go. We've got the 8-ball bar table world championships underway, and we've got a first round match today starting about 2 or 3 minutes time. It's going to be between HowieWowie and Bedhead, and it's a race to 11. What we're going to do first is we've got that match on the bracket. It's scheduled for the top of the hour for 3 PM British Summer Time, which is 10 AM East Coast Time, 7 AM West Coast Time in the States. Let's go to the actual event page itself just to cover a few things. It's double elimination, race to 11 on the winner's side, race to 9 on the one-loss side, and a single final to 15. Match time out 10 minutes, and then that's the length of time that they've got to play their matches. There's no shot clock in it, and it's on the, well, it's in the pit stop, on the pit stop bar table, and it'll be tournament pockets, alternate break according to that, call shot, which is 8-ball US rules, I believe, and there is no jump cues, and there's no 3-foul rule, and the rest of the rules are there, given all the other detail on it. But let's go back to the bracket. Just about to have the room up, and there's a few matches have gone by. Mr. Bill's through to the second round. He got revenge on McClarkey, who put Bill out of the virtual US 9-ball championship earlier on this year. And I think that's the only other match that's scheduled at the moment. Larry's already through. He beat Gunnett 11-2. Popman is through. He beat DJ Simon 11-9, a close match there. And Frankel, well, he got through 11 racks to 0 against LS3. So it's Frankel and Popman in the third round, and Larry, well, he's going to have a little time to wait, because the HowieWowie match, the winner of that will play Snake Eyes. That'll be a tough match, and then the winner of that match will play Larry. So without further ado, let's get ready for the room going up. I never read if it was lag for break, but I presume it is. The room should be going up any second. Already gone past the hour, and the room is now up, and we will jump straight in. And you can see the difference here with the bar table. A lot of balls on the table, 15 balls in the rack, and I presume this is a 7-foot table. Right, both players are in, and they're lagging off for break. Now, this match, in all honesty, could go any way. I would forget about the ratings, because some of this is going to be down to luck. Very easy to get blocked out on a ball on this table, but Bedhead has won the lag. So here we go. And surprisingly, it's a dry break. So if a ball or balls go down in a break, the player who's at the table has still got an open table until he pots his next ball. Then he'll have nominated the ball set that he wants to go for. You can see the problems you have in this table. There's going to be balls cluttering and blocking one another. So I would suggest that even more emphasis on good tactics, as well as the prime thing is positional play in this table, being able to manoeuvre that cue ball. So HowieWowie has chose the solids, and he's also nudged the 2-ball on. He's got the 4 in the open, but after he gets this 4 and the 2-ball, he's not got a lot else to get on. The other thing, of course, with the strategy is that 2 ball on the right hand side there is blocking the path for the 15 ball to that pocket. So that is a sort of safety net at the moment for HowieWowie. And Bedhead is going to try and pick his way around these balls. Now he's potted the 13 and he's also nudged the 2 in, and that's a legal shot, so that's now changed the whole game straight away, because he's now opened the pocket. So as long as you hit your own ball first, if you billiard in your opponent's ball, it's not a foul, it's a legal shot, and the 8 ball is in the open to that top right hand corner pocket, so it's just a matter of Bedhead picking his way through these. Probably take that 14 first, get onto the side rail. The 9 ball looks the best ball to get on the 8 ball. It looks as if he's going to drop in behind the 15. Well, he's gone actually a bit straight. Now this is a problem, and he's got to think about this. Now the chances of HowieWowie running out here are fairly slim unless he moves at 5 and 6 if he gets a chance. And Bedhead has done his best he can to get over the left hand side, so now the problem is getting on the 8, but the 8 does squeeze past that 1 ball if he's going to go over to the right hand side, which he doesn't really have much alternative unless he draws across, which he's done. He's played it well, and that's the strength that HowieWowie's up against in playing Bedhead. He's got to keep things tight, he's got to use his head, but it's a run out for Bedhead. He was given a chance and he's managed to pick his way through, and he wins the first rack. And 4 balls, 5 balls have gone in a break there. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 5 balls have gone. Well, HowieWowie needs to take advantage of that. Now if you look at the lay of the balls, I mean, well I think that's the 1 ball that's there. No, that's the 9 ball, so he's looking to perhaps take the solids. You just got to think wisely here, because that 9 ball is very tight to try and squeeze past that too, but he's going for the stripes, and well, let's see what he can do with that 9 ball, because that's going to be the problem ball. Already he's out of line colliding with that 8. He still can get the 10, and he probably can just rest on the 8 ball. He doesn't need to slam this in, just a gentle roll and he'll rest on the 8 ball. Well, he's hit that too hard in some respects, and he can't get to the 12 ball, so now he's got a problem. And well, he's going to try and squeeze the 9 in behind the 2, and that's okay for the time being. Just checking everything's running okay. It looks okay. So Bedhead on the solids. Now he has an angle in this 6 ball. He's going to try and run into that 2 ball and 9 ball up in the top corner there. Well, that's a great shot. It was a bit of good fortune. He's nudged the 9 in, but he's opened the table wide open now, sorry. And it's going to be the second rack to Bedhead. And this is where you have to really think about what you're doing and plan ahead. That's a sort of general rule for every billiard game you play, but Bedhead there had the angle on the 6 and managed to nudge into the 2, and that's what's got him 2-0 in front. And certainly the higher rated players in Virtual Pool 4 that are in this tournament, they're going to be at an advantage anyway because they can move the cue ball better. And if you can move that cue ball better, then your chances of winning racks is increased dramatically for that simple reason. But the biggest problem, as I say always, is the clutter, the amount of balls that are on the table in such a small area, and it does test your skill. So HowieWowie has chosen the stripes. Well, he's on the 11. If you look at that 14 ball that's just to the right of the 9 and the 6, that's the one he would really need to get rid of if he's going to do anything in this rack. All of this clutter here's all Bedhead's balls. That doesn't matter, but now he's got an angle on this 10, and if he plays it right, he can get the cue ball out to about there or somewhere here in this area. And again, just too hard. So the touch is something that HowieWowie is just struggling with immediately, and that's the problem. You need to get your touch and get the feel for the pace of these shots. That needed to be a lot more gentle to get on that 14 ball. Now he played the bank there. Did he call the shot? Well, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to interfere, but my understanding of the rules is that maybe I missed it. Oh, good afternoon, whoever that is with a name that I don't recognise. I might have missed the fact that he called a shot there, but my understanding of the rules is all combos and banks need to be called. Now, Bedhead hasn't said anything, so you know, you can't say that was an obvious bank. But strictly speaking, it should have been called. If it wasn't, maybe I turned my head away and missed it, but that's neither here nor there. HowieWowie's back at the table. Now, can he see that 14? Well, yes he can. But he's trying to cut it into the middle. He'd probably be better running it into the corner, because the little nudge in the 9, if he needs to hit this a wee bit firm just to make sure the 9 doesn't get locked up with the 6. But that 14 does go into the corner. When he's drawing back, I wouldn't be drawing back too much. You see, that's where it's gone wrong. You had to go through to let the ball run and get that 6 out the way. Right, I'll need to pay attention to see the call shot messages in the top right hand corner. Well, this is an open invitation for Bedhead here, as long as he can get the first ball in the pocket. Well, that's a fly move, that one. I mean, he had a 7 ball he could have went for there, but he's putting the pressure on HowieWowie. Now, again, if you're kicking at a ball, you should, strictly speaking, call a pocket, unless you're calling a safety. But it doesn't matter now. It'll be ball in hand for Bedhead. He's got his reward. good afternoon. So, Bedhead looks to have, from what I can see here, a fairly easy run out. He wants to take the 5 and the 4 and get rid of them. And next ball should be the 6. And then deal with the 2 balls up the top there. And then he's on the 8 into this bottom left-hand corner or the right-hand corner. But that should be the way that he goes. And ideally now, well, he can run off the end rail or he can draw across the side rail. He has his choice here. Well, now it's surely got to be the 2. And needs to control the spin in this cue ball here. He doesn't want to run into a corner or something. He's kept it straight. And now it should just be a little kill, a little gentle, soft, drawish shot off this 7 ball. But again, he can go out into the middle of the table, so you have choices. He looks as if he's playing a little soft drag. So this for 3-0. Now, I would strongly suggest early on here for HowieWowie that he needs to find that little better touch and control. Well, this is something I harp on about all the time. If you don't get your mouse right, you don't have the confidence to play certain shots. Once you get your mouse settings right and you're comfortable with them and you spend a lot of time getting it right, then you'll find that you can control that cue ball a bit better. But anyway, it's now 3-0 to Bedhead. HowieWowie breaking off in rack number 4. And we've lost a couple of balls. Remember, it's still an open table until the next ball goes down. And then the player has chosen the set of balls he wants to take in a particular rack. Well, that 13 ball's going to be a trouble to get to. So he's chosen the stripes. Let's have a look. Yeah, that 13 ball, it can only be got to from one point, and even then it's very, very thin to try and cut that 13 in. So that's a problem that HowieWowie is going to have if he's going to do anything in this rack. So he needs to get wise. He needs a decent safety somewhere. Well, of course, the advantage that Bedhead has, he's got all his balls on the table, so he's got plenty of places to hide the cue ball. And remember, there's no jump cues in this tournament. Not that there's much advantage of having a jump cue on a bar table. Much easier to kick at balls on a table this size. Now, well, he went for a kick in on that. That was a sort of desperate shot to be playing. So now Bedhead with ball in hand can take care of the blocking ball, which is that 13. So he's doing HowieWowie a favour. And now it's a question of whether HowieWowie had ball in hand, but he's actually hooked himself. Well, the 9's gone safe on the end rail. Well, let's look at the top end of the table. Well, Bedhead can play the combo with the 2 and the 3. The 6 squeezes past the 3, and the 7 goes in past the 8. So these balls have all got a pocket to go to. You just have to be careful in doing it. Well, it looks like, now is he deciding to take the combo first? It's probably when he's got the cue ball in such a position, you're better to take that chance straight away, because you might never get another chance. So he's going to take the combo and get rid of the 3. And now the position he's in, he could take the 6 and get over to that left hand side and take care of these 2 balls in the left hand rail. They have to be dealt with. See what I'm talking about? You have to have it clear in your mind what you're doing and getting rid of any balls that are hindering your run out. And these ones on the left hand side are just in a place you don't want to be. You want to have the 7 and the 2 to be dealt with. Probably the last ball would be the 2 to get on the 8. And this is going to be 4-0 to Bedhead. Again, barring an astronomical disaster. So into rack number 5. I think we would, was the first break a dry break? I think the first break was a dry break, but ever since then we've had 1 or 2 balls get in, even 4 and 5 balls, or 4 balls went in. So Bedhead has got an open table from the break, and well, look at these stripes. These stripes look good. Let's have a look up the top end. Yeah, well, there's 2 of his balls up there, and they're all in the open. This is looking good for a run out here. And the chances are, well, the 14 ball's the problem ball. The chances are he can run out, but it has to deal with the problem first of all. So he's up at the top end. That's where all the work's getting done. And now ideally he can draw right behind that, and he's played that pretty good. And that's the problem ball getting taken care of. Now this has to be done carefully, because the 11 ball's on the joint of that rail there. Well, he's looking to come back across. Now that can squeeze in off the jaw. It looks as if, oh no, well, here's an ambitious shot. I don't know whether he's looked closely at that, but that would go in off the jaw, and it's a very accurate shot, but it would go. He's gone for the cross bank. So now HowieWowie has got his chance, and the 14 ball being down in this bottom rail is pretty good for his chances right now, provided he doesn't muck anything up. And now, the one thing he doesn't want to do is panic with that 4 and that 7 ball up there. He needs to get into them off this 6 ball. He's got the chance to do it, and he should still be in the 3, and that's good. So now he's going to get rid of the, is that the 1? Yes, it is. Take the 2 next, and then the 7, and then the 3, and draw back across for the 8 down the rail. Now that 8 is not quite touching the rail, but he needs to get good on it. He needs to watch the draw. You don't need too much. Well, he's taking the 3 first, and this should leave him close enough to the rail. So HowieWowie is going to get off the mark. And I'm surprised Bedhead didn't look closer at that 14 ball, because it would squeeze in. It's a very tight cut, but it would go. So we're into rack number 6. HowieWowie breaks off, but it's another dry break. And we've got 3 stripes down here in the corner. We've got the 14 ball, which is open to that pocket. The 11, which will go to that pocket, provided you can get good position on it. And there's 1 stripe up at the top. Oh, sorry, 2. So he's probably nominating the stripes. And now he's out of shape. He's got the 9 into the middle. And he could actually deal with that 11 ball after this 9 if he doesn't let the cue ball run too far. I think he should have the... Well, now it doesn't look... Something must have moved. I thought that 9 could pot. It certainly can't now, looking at it from that angle. Not the 9, the 11. So this is going to take care of the 2 balls at the top end. But I don't know whether he can draw back and avoid running into the 12. He might just brush into it and push it to the left hand side. Yep. Well, Bedhead's got a problem to deal with here. Let's have another look at that 11. Now that 11 definitely doesn't go. You can't make the potting angle without fouling the 8. But now he's got an angle to actually, if he gets this right, he can just brush onto the 8 and leave the cue ball on the 11. And that's fine. That is perfect. Nice little angle. Can drop in behind the 14, and then he's got the 8 into the same pocket as the 11. Just could have done with it going a little bit further. Now he doesn't want to get too cute with this. He could end up blocking himself with the 4. And he's played it okay. So that's a good run out, a good response by Bedhead. It's a thing you always must do, particularly in 8 ball, is when you're making that choice of what balls you're going to take, you have to be clear in your mind what your plan is and how you're going to get your route out. Because if you don't have that plan and you're just muddling around hitting balls and relying on luck, then you're not going to win many racks. Bedhead did what was expected, planned his route, picked off the problem balls, and he done very well. But not so well there, scratching the break. It's now 5-1 to Bedhead, and we've got a right mess at the top of the table. And HowieWowie chose the solids. He needs to get something moving up there. He's got 3 of his balls in and around the 8 ball, which are no good to him. And he's completely missed everything. And now he's got no shot. Well, rail not hit. Ball in hand to Bedhead. And of course, what HowieWowie's done there is he's not disturbed the 1 and the 8. They're still tied up, so all the hard work's going to have to be done by Bedhead if he's going to try and run this rack out. His 14 ball stuck behind the 6. I don't think you can see the potting angle of that 14. Now Bedhead's really just trying to manoeuvre balls a little bit here. He knows that the one's tied up with 8, so both players... Well, there's a mistake. And, well, that's not done any damage. So, ball in hand to HowieWowie, but in this situation, he's got blocked pockets, he's 6 balls doing nothing where it's sitting, and I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't be moving the 1 ball right now. I'd be leaving that there, because the chances of running out here are, again, fairly slim. Surely I could get the cue ball behind the 6 and roll that 6 into this bottom left hand corner pocket. But again, he's backed into a corner because there's not a lot he can do to prevent Bedhead actually getting to a ball. Well, that was another shot there played, and I'm pretty certain he didn't call that if that had gone in. Now, it's 8 ball world rules. My understanding is it's definitely a called shot game and you have to call banks and combos. Unless the 2 players have agreed not to, which I would find unusual. So Bedhead's on the stripes. Well, he's chosen a long combo. This is a fairly simple enough combo, even though it's at distance. It's going to probably be another one. Now, when's Bedhead? Well, he's decided he's not risking it. He's going to make his move if he gets ball in hand here, and ball in hand will probably mean that he plays the 13 ball to split the 8 and the 1. If he does that with ball in hand straight away, he's got to be careful that he still leaves himself a shot. So this rack could still go either way. HowieWowie calling the 3 ball. Again, more difficult to read the kick shots because these players very rarely play on the bar table. So now we've got ball in hand, and Bedhead, well, is he going to try and break it from the 14? Yes, he has. Now, he's got a shot in the 15. Awkward though. Queuing right over the top of the 13 ball. Well, if this cue ball comes up the table towards the 3 ball on the left hand side, he's going to have the 13 ball into the top right hand pocket. And he's just running a wee bit further. He's still okay. And I don't think he can avoid hitting the 8, and he needs to be careful with that because that 8 will go towards his last ball and might block it off. And it's all gone wrong. I don't even know whether he can play the cross double here and avoid the double kiss. That's what he's going to call. So this rack all hinges on this one shot. Right, we'll get rid of the phone call. So Bedhead shows the safer option first of all. HowieWowie again misses the kick. So now Bedhead, ball in hand, should get right in behind it. And it's an easy out. So Bedhead now leads by 6 racks to 1. HowieWowie's breaking off in rack number 8. We've lost the 6 ball, and the cue ball is in an ugly spot. And there's nothing really good here because there's balls blocking one another. I don't think one set's a better choice than the other. Looking at what there is, he's going for the solids. He's got a 5-4 combo. Now he could take the 2 ball and hopefully nudge that 15 out of the way and leave himself on his 1 ball up the top rail there. Now, has he come out far enough? No, he hasn't. He's blocked off. And of course the other problem is he can't see any of his balls up the top end of the table. So he might have to get the cue jacked up here and try and just spin around just a little bit to spin around. He needs to get jacked up higher than that. A bit more. Yeah, spun too quickly. So Bedhead on the stripes. Well, surely he would take the 15 because he can come right back up the table, or down the table as we look, and get in amongst these balls at the bottom end of the table here. That's where his work's going to be. And I think the 13 goes clean. No problem there. What's he looking? I have to say what he's looking at. Well, safety's been called. No, deciding against it. I don't think he's quite sure what to do. Well, that was a bit of a strange one. Okay, he's opened that pocket, but in doing that, he's actually tied up a couple of his balls. And one thing's for certain, that if HowieWowie's going to run this rack out, he's got to get good on this 8-ball. Now, the 8-ball, the window to get into is there, obviously, for the 8-ball, and that's a test of your skill. Now, a little gentle one and a nudge onto the 10 would do the trick. Nothing hard. A little nudge. Well, he's got there. That's a strange shot choice by Bedhead with that safety where he opened up the pocket, but it didn't do him any favours. So HowieWowie gets another rack in the board. Still trails by 6 racks to 2. Bedhead breaking open rack number 9. And again, the break is dry. Now these balls are actually sitting very nice. There's 2 solids together there, sort of just beyond the middle pocket, the 5 and the 1, I think it is. That is the one, yeah. This is going to need a little bit of thought here. Every ball is there for the taking, and this is a test of your ability. He's nudged into the 15. He's chosen the stripes. It's going to be a cutback on the 13. I don't know whether he'll nudge into that 3-ball. He needs to watch the scratch in the middle pocket here on the right hand side. Yeah, he's nudged in, but he's missed the pot, and that's a bad mistake. And likewise, the table's wide open here for Bedhead, and the big difference is that Bedhead has got a pretty open table. The problem's now going to be that 3-ball on the right hand side. It doesn't have a pocket. That's where he's going to have to do his hard work. And his best bet on that 3-ball's a bank. So there's definitely problems for Bedhead to run out, so he's decided on the safety. Now, can HowieWowie nudge that 14 into the middle? It looks too tight. Oh, it just... Well, any more it would drop in. Now, there is a significant difference there in that choice of shot there from HowieWowie. Okay, if he'd got the 14 in, that's fine, but what he's actually done is he's opened up the 3-ball into the top right hand corner. That could be a fatal mistake. He had to get that 14. It was such a tight angle, but the 3-ball is now open, and Bedhead has an opportunity now if he can stun across, which he's done, and he's okay, and he's going to take care of the problem ball. And the other one is the 1-ball now. The 1-ball's blocked by the 10 up here, and it's obviously blocked by the 14 into the middle. And the question is whether he wants to play the combo. And if he plays the combo, the cue ball's going down in here. So he's got to make sure he gets the cue ball out. Let's see what happens. And he's fine. But now, having nudged the 10, The 10's now a blocker for the 8 into that right hand corner. Now, if he takes the 1 and brings the cue ball over here somewhere, if he takes the 2 into the middle, he can get the cue ball back across here for the 8 into that corner. That would be the plan. Well, if you look close, the 8 will go in off the jaw, no problem, as long as you get good on it. He's slightly the wrong angle. He's going to try and just pinch a little bit of this 2 ball, but he's managed to get in behind it into the other pocket. So it ended up being a good run out, and it's now 7-2. Oh, you're welcome. Oh, well. Now we've got a problem. The break off from HowieWowie. He's potted the 5 ball in the break. But you can see where the trouble lies. 8 ball hanging over the left hand corner pocket, and what you don't want to do in this situation is start banging balls around the table willy-nilly, because something's going to nudge that 8 ball in. Especially if you're having to kick out of a snooker or something like that. You don't want to be doing anything silly. So HowieWowie has made his choice. He's nominated the stripes. And of course, one of the blocking balls for that 8 ball happens to be his 13 ball. Well, that 13 could be banked up to the top left hand corner, but once again, it would only ever be banked if you got your cue ball somewhere like there to bank the 13 back up the table. Safety called. So, calling the safety, Bedhead can get rid of the blocking ball, but he's conceded control of the table here to HowieWowie. Now, how far ahead is HowieWowie thinking, because he's now got no shot in the 10. And of course, he now needs to keep well away from the 13. He's going for the cut on this 10 into the corner. And that's a good shot. But now, well, he can cut this 14 in, and he can get to the side of the table we're talking about. Let's have a look. He's got to cut it thin with a little bit of right and avoid a scratch, and he's going to have to play it with a bit of pace as well for it to get to the pocket. The problem is he might not have the bank on the 13. He could cut it with left English, but that checks the cue ball to come this way, and then the bank's not as good. Well, that's not bad. It's not bad. He wants to play this pocket weight. If he plays it pocket weight, then he knows that if he gets his next chance, he'll have a fair chance of getting to that 8 ball, because the 13's obviously going to be out of the way. But he doesn't want to slam this. He wants to just get it down the table somewhere near that corner pocket. And that's a great shot. Well, that 13 was always going to be the issue unless you got it in a bankable position, which he eventually did. And with that, he deserves to win the rack. And that's why there's so much emphasis on billiard and pool games, where you have to think about what you're doing. And I keep harping on about it all the time. I see that so many players not thinking about what they're doing, and it's a basic thing in any game. If you plan ahead and you look at your route out it makes your job an awful lot easier. So here we go, we're into rack number, what are we, rack number 11. And Bedhead leads by 7 racks to 3. HowieWowie's break off, Bedhead's break off has given him 1 ball, which is the 15. And we're still in an open table. Again, this table looks good. I mean, I would have to say, barring any mistakes, this should be a run out for Bedhead. He's chosen the solids, and really there is no problem with any of these solids. The 8 ball's in the open, and he's got to run out. Ideally, he wants to run through to the side rail here on the left-hand side. He wants to take the 1. Now, he's gone a bit too far. If he'd left the cue ball there for the 1, he could pot the 1 and get rid of the 3, because the 3's the problem ball there. He's just gone too far. Yep. So that 3 ball, well, he's got the cut angle on it. He's managed to find the right spot to make the cut into the corner. That was a good shot. Now then, well, taking the 5, it's going to be a long 2 into the corner, and if he gets this sort of angle on the 2, he can stun the cue ball out into the middle of the table, into that area there to get to the 8. Well, he's a bit straight. He can still punch this and pinch a bit in the pocket and still get the cue ball out past the 13, but he's drawing back. Looks like it. Yeah, played it with bottom and left-hand English to check the cue ball back up the table the other way to stay in the 8 in the opposite pocket. That was another good shot. So the run out has been made, and it now goes to 8-3. HowieWowie's turn to break. Eight ball goes in on the break. Now something has gone. I thought something had gone awry there. The 8's eventually been respotted. It's still HowieWowie's visit to the table, but once again we've got problem balls. Well, if he takes the 15, he's going to have to try and get into those 2 balls, which he's tried to do. And that's ended up, well, it's not that bad. He's still got the 14. The other problem's the 9 ball, but the 9 ball does go as long as you get on it. And I don't know whether he can hold it. No. Well, he can take the 10. And then he's going to have to take that pink, I think that's the 12 ball. But look at where the 11 is. The 11's doing nothing over here. You do well to cheat that into the pocket. Well, that's a good one. He's brought out his 13. and he's actually got an angle on this 13 where he can come across and hit either the 11 or the 1. He's tried his best to do it. He might still get there. Well, just calling the safety, keep that 11 ball next to the 3. Make sure it isn't opened up for Bedhead. Well, he's opened it up, I think. He's hit it too hard. That 1 will easily cheat the pocket going down that rail. And of course, with the 2 ball being here, that gives Bedhead the chance to get in behind that 1. So he'll already have looked at that. But he's content to play the safety and force HowieWowie into moving his 11 ball. Now, I don't know whether he can see enough of this to call the cross double here, or the cross bank. What's he doing? I don't even know what pocket he's chosen. This one. Trying to cut it, bank it to there, and into this corner. Well, that needs to get up next to that 8. Try and tie it up, but it hasn't. But there isn't any problem balls here for Bedhead. These are all sitting for the taking. And he'll get rid of that 7 ball fairly quickly. Once he pots this 3, he can get right behind the 7. And that'll free up the 8 ball for him into both corner pockets. Well, chosen to run through. And now he's the wrong side of the 6. I'm always of the opinion that whenever you've got a chance to get rid of a problem ball, you get rid of it as quick as you can. If you're sitting good and you're able to do it. He's got rid of it. And now he can drop behind the 2. Now, the only thing is that the 8 ball will go. It is tight, but it will go from that side, but he probably doesn't want to play it from that side. Well, this is a little soft draw, and he needs to be careful with the angle he's got there, that he doesn't just drop this into that right middle pocket. I think he can avoid it. Well, oh dear. Let's have a look. Yeah. That's the only place in the table he couldn't see the 8 ball from, and the mistake has been made. So, Bedhead calling the 8 ball into the right corner as we look. I don't know whether he can get the angle to get it there, can he? He's riding his luck that this is going to go safe. Well, this is it's not a difficult cut. The difficulty is watching the cue ball. It needs to come back out into the table for a shot in the 8, and that will do nicely. So that's one that got away there for Bedhead. So it's now 8 racks to 4 to Bedhead. I've got a mini crisis at hand here. My lighter's run out of gas. Yep. It doesn't matter how many times you click it with no gas in it, you ain't going to light. Well, we're going to have to call the whole thing off while I get a lighter that works. Oh, I finally squeezed something out of it. Right, so still an open table. Couple of balls have gone down. And Bedhead is calling the bank on the 7. So it's going to have to be a split on this 1 and 5, probably with the cue ball here if he plays this bank. And that's what he's tried, but he's going to... Whoa, I thought he was going to scratch. Got away with it. Still an open table. And that 5 ball is sitting nice. And it looks like it's going to have to be the solids here for HowieWowie, because the 2 solids there next to that 5 are tied up, so he can take the 1. 4 balls down here in the bottom right hand corner. He gets rid of the 2 in the side rail. That's the blocker for the 6 into the same pocket, and the 7's right in the middle. So once again, you have to take your time. There's no shot clock, and just make sure you get the pace right. And that was really poor. That's a big mistake, but he's actually got away with it, I think. Oh no, the 9 will go, but it's still an open table yet. So it looks as if Bedhead's going to deal with the solids. And it was critical that HowieWowie got that 1 ball, because those 2 solids are still tied up. But HowieWowie's the player that's going to have to deal with them now if he gets a chance. But his chances in this rack are going to be fairly slim. And the 2 ball will be the next one. If Bedhead just draws out or runs through off the rail and comes out into the middle of the table, into the same gap that he's in at the moment, and he can get on that too. So the 2 is the problem ball. And he's taking the risk taking it now, because it then means that his last ball's the 1 ball at the top end of the table, and the 8 ball's down here in the middle of the table. Well, he's now got the angle on the 6 to run through and come into that gap between the 9 and I think that's the 11 ball, and get out into the right hand side of the table. He can go over here. Well, it's going to be, as I thought, the 1 ball's going to be the last ball. And he's making sure he can find the gap. Oh, what's happened here? Oh, well, that's 2 racks in a row. The last rack got behind the point on the middle pocket jaw, and now he's hooked behind the 8. So now Bedhead's having to kick the 1. Oh, he's called it and he's knocked it in. That's a good shot. And he's sitting pretty on the 8. Well, it ended up being a good out, but it went badly wrong. But this time Bedhead managed to dig himself out of the problem. A kick bank on the 1. HowieWowie breaking off in rack number 14, trailing by 9 racks to 4, and the winning line is only 2 racks away for Bedhead. But it's another one of these racks where we've got clutter on the right hand side of the table there, but the solids look the best bet for Bedhead, but he's going to have to work for it though. Now he could pot that pink 12 ball, it is the 12 isn't it? He could pot that and he could stun into the 10. The chances are he's just going to nudge the 10 along here towards this pocket. And it's now gone wrong again. Can he make the combo? 9 ball, even if he just sends it to the rail, it's bound to catch the 15 and nudge it in. He's called the 15. That's a good shot. Well, this is the crucial one. Still stun onto this 10 ball if he can. He's got the angle and he's just hoping to nudge it along the right hand side there. He's looking at it, but it looks pretty good to me if he can just stun onto it. And he's played it perfect. But look at the 8 ball. The 8 ball will go, but it will only go from this short end up that side rail, and this is why he's looking at taking the 11. He could possibly draw back here and leave a cut along the rail on this 10, but there's nothing easy here. This isn't signed and sealed yet, this rack. And now he's gone into no man's land. And HowieWowie is probably going to get another shot. Bedhead trying an impossible cut shot there into that top right hand corner. But what he has done is he's put the onus on HowieWowie. He said, there's your chance, see if you can run the table to win the rack. And he's going to have his work cut out. And immediately he's got nothing doing here. He can't get to the potting angle of that too. I don't think he can. No. He's just going to nudge it into the jaws. But he's got to look at playing the safety, which he's done, and blocked off the 11. So just a kick for Bedhead. Once again, making sure he calls a pocket. You never know, you might get lucky. He's now scratched. And this is now a great chance for HowieWowie. But straight away, he has to deal with the problem balls. This 1 and 2, that's the ones I'd be playing straight away and leave myself on that 5 for my third shot. You see, he's now leaving himself work to do to get back up for this 1 and 2. When the 4 ball's near the 8 and the 7 ball's fairly near the 8, that's the balls you want to be working on as your last couple of shots, in my opinion, to make your life easier. But he's drawn back on the 1, And now he's going to be playing the 7 at distance after he gets this 1 and 2, and this is where it can go wrong. We'll see if he's made the right choice. And just a straight roll through and out into the middle of the table. Get that cue ball off the side rail and out to here. And even better if he got out to there. But that's dangerous. You don't want to be interfering with that 8 ball. And the danger is, he's done exactly what I said. And it has all gone pear-shaped.
Oh dear, outside, never mind.
And that's the worst possible shot you could have played, is overhit it. So, it's just going to be the kick. Now, there's no jump cues in this tournament again, but you can still jump. There's no rule saying you can't jump with your own playing cue, but that's nigh on an impossibility. Now, he needs to get lucky here. It's not just about hitting the 7. The priority is to hit the 7. And he's missed that, so it's an easy out for Bedhead. He'll probably just leave the cue ball there and roll the 11 up the rail. No. Well, he didn't even need to move it. Just a little draw. So this is going to take Bedhead to the hill. And he's leading by 10 racks to 4. And Bedhead breaking off in rack number 15. I think the 14 ball, I think I caught a glimpse of that going into the right middle. I certainly did. And these balls are all sitting nice. Not one of them touching. And Bedhead looking at the setup. He's looking at what's the best way to run these balls. Now, is that the 9 ball that's there? That's the 9. So he's chosen the stripes. And he's going to take the long 9 ball straight away. Well, at that distance, he's again relying on luck to get good position on his next ball. That would be a risky shot to take at this stage. I don't see the problem with taking the 15 and then taking the 11 next. But now there's traffic in the way, and this is where your problems start in an 8 ball bar table, and trying to find a way to get onto that next ball. And that could have done with going a little bit further. He's got too much angle on this 9. And he's playing this with a lot of left-hand English to hit that rail and go that way, so he doesn't come anywhere near the 10 and the 3. And he's controlled it well. So, well, this is pretty much match ball, this 10 ball, as long as he can get himself somewhere in the middle of the table for a shot in the 8. What's the angle like he's got? Well, he could go this way, but that's narrowing your choices down. He really needs to find a spot here. And that's what he's tried to do. And he's got there. And it's all over. So this 8 ball gives Bedhead the win. And he wins the match with HowieWowie by 11 racks to 4. We'll have a quick look at the bracket, and we'll see that update in a second or two. That was a match there. That should just update. It'll refresh in a second. So we'll see that now we've got 2 major contenders for this tournament are going to be playing one another in round number 2, and that's going to be Snake Eyes against Bedhead. There we go, finally updated. And then again, there's another good match in prospect, because the winner of that match will then play Larry. So things getting very tight early on in the tournament. But HowieWowie has moved over to the one-loss side. Now the bracket's gone bloody haywire again. Let's try and get this thing to work. We've already got a few players over on the one-loss side. And HowieWowie is going to have a bit of a wait before he finds out who his next opponent's going to be. So anyway, folks, thanks to those that were watching, if any. And well, I don't know when the next match is going to be, but depending on my work schedule and when these guys schedule their matches, I'll hopefully bring 1 or 2 more of them at some point in the future. So thanks again, and we will see you again sometime.